This channel is supported by Truefire. Truefire is an online library
enough, you can get the Truefire All Access Pass for as cheap as they ever do it, the $99 thing, so just jump and do that if you're looking for...
Hi, my name is Cordy, and this is a multivitamin, not a jar of urine, as you might have expected. Now, today's video has a bit of a background because I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, maybe a couple of years, 3 years, something like that. I had a PRS DGT, and what really sealed the deal for me in terms of getting rid of that guitar was that I got a Gibson Les Paul Standard from 2002, played it next to it, and kind of concluded that, to be honest, the PRS didn't really do much for me in comparison to the Les Paul, which I felt like had more balls, more character, and all that sort of stuff. Now, I've got another opportunity to do this video because I was playing this and I was thinking like, you know, what's that like? So this is Tony from Up the Road's 5310, a limited edition, named as such because it has these P90 inspired, apparently, pickups, fixed bridge, straightforward bits and pieces, got some sort of split there, and yeah, three-way, whereas this is just your bog standard. This is a K-Line KL59, but with K-Line pickups and basic configuration. So, I think what I've found, it still holds true that these are basically quite a similar formula, right? In that it's a maple top, mahogany body, and set neck design. It's almost like if you kind of refined the Les Paul design in some ways. People do think of it as somewhere between a Strat and a Les Paul. I think, to me, it is a bit more Les Paul-y than anything else. But what's immediately obvious to me when switching between the two is that this is such a much more polite guitar. This, I'd say the pickups have quite a lot of bite and zing to them and are way, way hotter. The other thing with the Les Paul is that you've got like these sharp edges, and so I think from an ergonomic point of view, almost everything about the PRS kind of is better, except I would say that this neck heel, I think, remains one of those parts of a design which maybe feels a little bit... That's getting in the way by the time you get up to the 22nd fret. I think that's maybe, in my opinion, the weakest part of a PRS's design. Maybe I should do a video on that. But might piss PRS off. But yes, as I say, I think a much more refined sort of things. Whereas this is kind of like a bit of a rock beast. Like, it's so much more of a difference, like... And that could be down to pickup height. I think Tony's got these set fairly low. But in any case, I think, I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments about what you find when you try this type of guitar back to back. It's like the PRS just feels sleeker in pretty much every single way. But on the flip side, much more polite. Now, you could, of course, stick in some fire-breathing pickups into a guitar like this, and I think you'd kind of have then the best of both worlds. Where it's essentially like got all of the tonal qualities that you'd expect that would make it pretty much spot on with a Les Paul, right? Maple, mahogany, set neck, mahogany. You know, the formula is there, right? Pickups are the one aspect that I think PRS, well, along with the headstock and the birds, the pickups have a little bit of a bad rap. But I feel like these are kind of more subtle. Yeah, this is just lovely. And the other thing with PRS is that they've got the kind of closer to the golden era Gibson radius, where this is a 10-inch radius, which what I found on some of the older Gibsons that I've seen, those are also like 10-inch radius. Whereas a modern Gibson is going to come with a 12-inch radius and feel quite a bit flatter, which might suit more modern players. I also think, like, this is a really nitpicky thing, but I prefer an instrument without binding. I think that's what I found over the years. These don't have nibs, this is the K-line, but of these two instruments, I feel like in terms of what has more character, I do think it's the Les Paul. In terms of what might be slightly more versatile and more subtle of an instrument, I think it's the PRS. Now, I have another conclusion about which sounds like it's got more character on a track. And that is to come up in another video where, you know, I think if you heard the PRS on a track, does it stand out to you as being like anything? Is I guess my question, like, could you recognise that sound and go, oh yeah, that sounds like a PRS? That's, I guess, one of the little things to notice there, which is like, sometimes I think I can hear something on a track and it's like, oh, that's probably a Telly, that's probably a Strat, but could I pick out a PRS on an album or something like that? Probably not. I think Wheel is one example of a tune that was recorded on a PRS hollow body. Obviously, like, there's a load of Santana stuff which would have been. There's loads of music that will have been, but I don't. It doesn't have as much of a voice, in my opinion, and that's kind of true of this guitar. But a more ergonomic, classic take on this sort of thing, right? I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which do you prefer? To me, I was surprised by how much more subtle the PRS is than that. I guess I could bring the pickup heights way down to get somewhere closer, but if that was something I was looking for, I actually quite like the idea that my Les Paul is way hotter than the other guitars that I normally play.